On, guys, and today I want to talk about a story that is developing. Marc Stein reported on it earlier, stating that it must be noted that there's enough noise circulating league-wide about Harden's reported openness to relocation this summer, according to Marc Stein on James Harden. So I want to hear right now, what are your thoughts down below? Do you think James Harden will leave? Like, obviously, if they win a championship, he'll probably stay because, like, why wouldn't he if they do win a championship? But if they don't win a championship, do you guys think James Harden leaves? And let's talk about it. It's been a developing story that's what seems like for weeks on end that more and more substance is being added to the story. And obviously we know the Philadelphia 76ers will be a team willing to pursue him. And maybe that's why as of late the Sixers have actually been increasing their wants in compensation. They've actually made it more difficult. So it's been reported that a Ben Simmons trade is more likely to happen in the offseason. So if it does happen, could we see a sign and trade of James Harden to the net from the Nets to the Sixers and Ben Simmons to the Nets? I don't know. I mean, obviously there's teams like the Trailblazers who might do a sign and trade there too. You know, obviously the Lakers, Clippers. You got to think of all the contending teams that be willing to bring on James Harden. Unless James Harden is just, I think James Harden's looking for that ring. I don't think he cares to go somewhere and be the dog like he was in Houston again, because at this point he wants that ring. So I think it really comes down to what you guys believe is going to happen in free agency. Is there I want to hear your comments down below. What do you guys think? Like and subscribe also if you guys want daily content. This is already my 5th video of the day, so I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you guys think James Harden is going to leave, or is this just not gonna happen? I mean, I definitely think it's an interesting position that they're in with James Harden being, I don't know if he's frustrated. I mean, he's kind of overshadowed definitely by everybody else on the team, you could argue. I definitely think Harden, it's not that he's being overshadowed, it's just that Kyrie noise is overshadowing him, and then everyone was like, James Harden had a rough start to the year, and I just feel like there's a lot of things that have been overshadowing James Harden that could maybe be making him upset. So that's where I think, like, is James gonna ask out? I don't know. I just think here, like, look, James Harden, the reason they didn't trade Kyrie is because Kyrie's better on this team than anything they could trade for right now. James Harden right now, it seems like they feel the same way. They're not going to trade James Harden right now, and because it's the best what they can get right now. But in the offseason, if they don't win the championship, will James Harden be just upset? I do not know. It's just interesting to think about that with a guy like James Harden, okay, who can go off on any given night. You have Kevin Durant, who's the front runner MVP in my mind, and many of the mind in the sports media world. But without that, too, being said, is that this team is good. Yes, there's some young guys, and yes, there's some flaws, but this is a team that's good. And James Harden and Kevin Durant seem to have a very good relationship. Same things with Steve Nash. But the only reason I could believe that they would, or he would, want to move on from the Brooklyn Nets is because he doesn't believe he can win a championship there, and that only could be reinforced if they don't go far, or they don't have the success that they do want, or even win a championship in this upcoming playoffs. If they don't win a championship, maybe it is championship or bust. I'm out of town if we don't win, which is very interesting because we don't know what he wants to do. But it's definitely a odd situation coming up with things. It's just we need to figure out what our guy wants to do in our man James Harden. I think it's really he's ring hunting. He wants to win a ring, and I think it's eluded him for a while, and he's hungry. He's hungry for that ring. And if he feels like the Nets aren't in the situation to set him up, maybe he does sign and trade for a reduced amount of money and get signed and traded to a team, maybe like the Portland Trailblazers, maybe like the 76ers, who are where Daryl Morey has been very upfront about it. Maybe he gets sent to the Wizards and paired up with Bradley Beal. We don't know. This is all, the ball's in James Harden's court. I'm a very pro player, and I believe, again, the ball is in his court. So I'm done with that rant. I'll take a sip of water. If you made it to the end of the video, like and subscribe. It's interesting because James Harden can do whatever the hell he wants because he's one of the best basketball players in the world. So, if you guys did enjoy this video, hit that like and subscribe button. Make a bunch of videos. Yeah. Comment. That's good.